it's Alex, the Bookubus, and today I'm here to talk to you about Bleak Week. So you might have seen a few videos I did about this time last year about Bleak Week, and this is something that my husband and I have done for the past couple of years, where we spend an entire week watching Bleak films, and yeah, it's about as fun as it sounds. So needless to say, we're doing it again this year. And yeah, this isn't necessarily something, you know, that I'm doing as a community thing, but obviously if you like the idea and want to do your own Bleak Week or something, then absolutely go for it. And yeah, if so, I would love to hear about what you're going to be watching. And yeah, so this is just a video talking about the 7 films that we have picked for this year's Bleak Week, the 3rd annual Bleak Week. The first time we did it, I didn't talk about it on here. So anyway, I will leave a link to the videos I did last year, because I also included some Bleak film recommendations and Bleak book recommendations. So if you're looking for something like that, go check those videos out. And then I also did a wrap up of the films we watched, which yeah, I intend to do this year as well. So the reason for Bleak Week is that we would find that we would have films on our watch list that seemed really interesting and that we really wanted to see, but they seemed pretty heavy. And so whenever we were going to watch something and we would peruse the list, we'd be like, oh, I really want to see that, but I'm just not in the mood for it right now. So we figured, why not make an event out of it, and we will dedicate a week to watching these films that we keep putting off because they're going to traumatize us. And just to make it as bleak as possible, we do it in the week running up to the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, so might be seen as a pretty depressing day all around. So yeah, that is what we're doing. So we're starting off, I think it's Friday the 15th of December, and then finishing on Thursday the 21st of December. So I'm just going to go through the 7 films we have on this year's Bleak Week watch list. I'm just going to go in the order of their original release date. And first up, from 1969, is They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, directed by Sydney Pollack. This is probably the most famous one on the list, and yeah, it's one neither of us have seen. And it's one of those films that I always heard the title, but I never actually knew what it was about. And then it was only in recent years that I heard the synopsis and I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. So the synopsis is, in the midst of the Great Depression, manipulative MC Rocky enlists contestants for a dance marathon, offering a $1,500 cash prize. Among them are a failed actress, a middle-aged sailor, a delusional blonde, and a pregnant girl. This is generally really highly rated and regarded, and yeah, just one of those films that I feel like I should have seen already, so I'm looking forward to finally doing so. The tagline here is, "People are the ultimate spectacle." So yeah, I'm expecting it to get into some of these the contestants' psyches, and it's probably just gonna go downhill from there, really. Next up, from 1982, is Boat People, directed by Anne Hui. The synopsis for this one is, a Japanese photojournalist revisits Vietnam after the liberation to document the nation, and begins following and documenting the young children from a poor Vietnamese family. And this is another one that, yeah, seems to be pretty highly rated. Yeah, the setting and content of this one definitely seems like it would fit for Bleak Week. Also from 1982, what a year, we have The Plague Dogs, directed by Martin Rosen. This and Watership Down are 2 animated films based on novels by Richard Adams, and both directed by the same director here, Martin Rosen. So, 2 dogs, Ralph and Snitter, struggle to survive in the countryside after escaping from an animal research laboratory. They are pursued by search parties and then the military after rumours spread that they could be carrying the bubonic plague. I already want to cry just from reading the synopsis, so that's a great sign. Yeah, I expect this one to thoroughly destroy me. Yeah, it's just going to be super sad. And as a side note, there's a line from this, which is sampled in a Skinny Puppy song, which I've heard like for many years, and yeah, at some point found out that it was from the Plague Dogs. And yeah, I actually got to see Skinny Puppy live recently and it was amazing. So yeah, it's going to be just an interesting moment to see that in context. Next up, from 1989, is Interrogation, directed by, apologies if I mispronounce this name, Ryszard Bugaszki. And this one, the synopsis is a bit long, but let's go for it. In Stalinist Poland, cabaret singer Tonia decides to spend the evening drinking with a group of friends. The next morning she awakes to find that, for reasons unknown to her, she has been jailed as a political prisoner. As prison officials interrogate, torture and humiliate her, she fights for survival and to maintain her innocence by refusing to sign a false confession. As her years of imprisonment pass, her relationship with her captors grows more complicated. I mean, that just sounds depressing AF. From 2010 is Submarino, directed by Thomas Vinterberg. We have both seen another film of his, The Celebration, which is, yeah, an experience and not a fun one. Highly recommended though. This one has a pretty long synopsis. The tagline sums it up. Two brothers meet at their mother's funeral, each in his way on a path of self-destruction, both haunted by a tragedy in their youth. So yeah, he's a really good director, and yeah, I'm interested to see another of his films. From 2016 is Tiny, The Life of Erin Blackwell, directed by Martin Bell. This is a documentary and is the follow-up to a documentary, Streetwise, which is one we watched for Bleak Week last year and was both my favourite and the most upsetting of all of the ones we watched last year, I think. It's about, yeah, kids living on the streets and yeah, just the experiences that they had. So this is a follow-up following one of those people in particular. It says, filmmaker Martin Bell chronicles the life of Erin Blackwell, mother of 10 children, from the time she was a 14-year-old prostitute through her battle with drug addiction, poverty and parenting. Yeah, like I said, Streetwise was amazing, I highly recommend it, but yeah, definitely not a fun watch. And so yeah, I expect more of the same from this one. And last up, from 2021, is Limbo, directed by Soi Chiang. Veteran detective Cham works with rookie cop Will to hunt down the city's serial killer. The investigation leads them to a lair littered with dismembered female limbs and an ex-con who killed Cham's wife and child years ago. So, sounds like there's a lot going on there. The poster for this is kind of mental. Not sure how bleak it is, maybe it's just more like dark and disturbing, but definitely sounds intriguing, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. And that is our watch list for this year's Bleak Week. So yeah, I don't know what order we're going to watch them in, we'll figure that out at the time, but yeah, I expect it to be a thoroughly upsetting time. And yeah, but hopefully there will be lots of great, yeah, filmmaking and performances to experience. We tried to keep our list, you know, pretty varied, so we've got, yeah, things from different time periods, different countries. We've got, yeah, a documentary in there, an animated film in there, so yeah, it seems like a pretty varied mix, but yeah, all of it seems like it would work for the Bleak Week theme. So that's it for this video. If you want to check out any of my other videos that I did for Bleak Week last year, then yeah, I'll leave them linked below or somewhere. And yeah, if you're thinking of doing your own, or if you ended up doing one after me talking about it last year, then I would love to hear about your experience. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video.